Hey everyone, this is Kevin Lacey of the Elite Hockey Experience, and I'm happy to tell you that we will be beginning free agency this weekend, starting with the coaches. If you've taken a look at the League CBA, you'll know there are several steps to the free agent process here in EHE. Coaching, re-signing your franchise players, signing newly activated prospects, and then sending offer sheets, re-signing your RFAs, and signing unrestricted free agents. So there are several steps going on here within the next month, and EHE is going to be kicking it into gear. As far as coaching vacancies go, this process is going to be a little bit different from the rest of the free agency because I did not have time to set up a module for coaches. So simply what you're going to do is you're going to send a bid to freeagency@elitehockeysim.com. You'll send me an email saying, I want to sign this coach for this amount for this length of contract. And remember, with coaches, you cannot sign a coach for longer than a 3-year term. So that's one asterisk on it. Over the next 2 days, I will allow teams to send in their re-sign bids. But after that first day where it's open to anyone that has a coaching vacancy, or if you want to release your coach and create a vacancy, that's your gamble. But for anyone that wants to sign a coach, send me a bid, and at the end of that day, if your bid is highest, the bid will be posted. I will not post who made that bid. The only thing that will be said is Daryl Sutter was given a bid of $2.5 million. Who can beat it? And then the other thing is, it's not just, well, it's $1 million for 4 years. Well, you can't do 4 years, but let's hypothetical. $1 million over 4 years or $3 million over 1 year. The coach, there's a flaw, but the coach is going to take the one for $4 million because the overall contract value is $4 million versus the one that is 1 year was only $3 million. That's the one drawback to this whole system, I know. Hopefully one of these days, not this off season, but sometime down the line, we'll be able to come up with a more realistic way of signing players and coaches for kind of like a short-term need because they get the bang for their buck right away. But for now, that's how we're going to do it. For those of you who have vacancies, there are 9 vacancies in the NHL level, and there are 7 vacancies at the AHL level. So I've got my trusty phone that doesn't have... Okay, so I have my app here. This is what we use for the draft. It is numbered 1 through 1,000. If you've been paying attention to the forum, like I hope you have, you know how your chances to re-sign your coach will be. Now, you do need to re-sign them at least a 10% increase. Now, there's really no point to signing them for more than a 10%, to re-signing them for more than a 10% increase. But if your coach that you're going after is on the open market, you may want to send a bid that is higher than the minimum value that you need to sign the coach at. There is a list on the website that says what each minimum value is for each coach, so you will always know. And then if you have the high bid at the end of that first day or of any day, you need to increase the bid at least 10%. Otherwise, that coach is going to the team that was the highest bid on that day. So, the Ducks. Tyler, you, after doing the math, because we calculated the points percentage times a certain percentage, whether you made the playoffs or not. The Ducks made the playoffs and were eliminated in the first round. So it was the points percentage times 0.9, which came out to a 50.7% chance of the Ducks re-signing Dave Tippett. Great coach. So on my app here, it's numbered 1 through 1,000. I have it set so that numbers will be redone. So like if someone had 586, it will do 586 again. So everyone has a 1 in 1,000, or each number is 1 through 1,000. So for Tyler, for the Ducks, you need to draw number 1 through 507 in order to potentially re-sign your coach. Maybe you don't want Dave Tippett. Maybe you think now that he doesn't have a mustache anymore, he's an ugly SOB. I don't know what you want to do. But that's your chance. You can re-sign Dave Tippett for up to a 3-year deal with at least an increase of 10% on his former salary, which was $1.8 million. So if the math in my head is correct, you would need to re-sign him for a minimum of $1.98 million over X amount of years. Anyway, let's find out here. Will Dave Tippett re-sign with the Ducks, or will he hit the open market?
515.
Okay. You barely missed it, but okay. 515, and you needed 1 through 507. Well, we just kicked that off with a bang. All right, sorry, Tyler, but Dave Tippett will be hitting the open market. You can submit a bid, but anyone else that has a vacancy can do so as well. For the Coyotes now, the Coyotes, you have an even 40% chance based on your points percentage times 0.8 for missing the playoffs. So, which, if I recall, you had a 500. I don't know, but it was 0.4. 40% was the total here. So you want 1 through 400 in order to re-sign Alain Vigneault. So we're kicking it off with a couple of good coaches here. So Alain Vigneault, 1 through 400.
373.
373. So you made it. So you can re-sign Alain Vigneault. He is one of the more higher paid coaches, but if you don't mind giving him a little bump in his salary, he won't mind returning to the desert. Boston Bruins, you have 2 here now who only have a 25.8% chance of re-signing their coach, who is Todd McClellan. Wow, there's some good coaches here on the line. I do want to tell you, Rob, real quick, that in my little test run, you actually, with your 25.8%, did win the chance to re-sign McClellan. But here we go. Is Todd going back to Boston?
76.
76. Okay, so Boston, you lucked out. You might be able to keep Todd McClellan. You probably will, judging from the email that you sent me, Rob. We got Dan with the Sabres now, and Todd Richards. Todd Richards, would he like to come back to Buffalo? I would assume so, because Buffalo went to the conference finals, and you have the highest percentage here. Buffalo Sabres, a 67.7% chance of re-signing Todd Richards. Here we go, 1 through 677 and 227. So Todd Richards would like to come back to the Sabres. So LA, oh yeah, that's right. So LA, your coach was Larry Robinson, who retired. But in the case of retirements, in EHE, you are allowed to maintain your coach through the rest of his contract. Now, Larry Robinson only had a 1-year contract and now retired, so he's retired. So Larry Robinson is done. So I guess there's actually no point to me hitting. You had a 62.5% chance of re-signing your coach, but Steve can't do anything for you on that. So you will have an option to try and re-sign. Hey, maybe Dave Tippett wants to move up from Anaheim to Los Angeles. Yes, move up. That'll actually be quite interesting. Steve, you got 2 vacancies to fill, so I'll be expecting an email or 2 from you at freeagency@elitehockeysim.com. Okay, the Islanders here have only a 39.2% chance to re-sign Randy Carlyle. Mixed reviews on Randy Carlyle here. You may choose not to, you might want to go for Dave Tippett if, but still, Randy Carlyle may ask you. 1 through 392. Okay, so the Islanders, 952 just got pulled up, so the Islanders will have a vacancy to fill as well. Nathan, the Sharks and the Barracuda both have coaching vacancies potentially here. So the Sharks at 41.7%. Will you re-sign your coach? I thought it was, yeah, it's Bruce Boudreau. So that's another big one here. California with the apparently no long-term deals here in California. Bruce Boudreau, will he come back to the Sharks? 41.7%, 1 through 417, and 624. Nope. All right, so we're gonna have some interesting things going on in California here because 624 just got drawn, which means that Bruce Boudreau is opting to hit the open market. The Maple Leafs, Mike, you asked about your coach free agent, or Mike, you asked about your free agent opening for coaching. You have a 53.5% chance of re-signing Ted Nolan. Again, this is just the chance. You can certainly opt not to re-sign them, but this is your opportunity to do so. 53.5 means 1 through 535. Here we go. 901. 901. Okay, so the Maple Leafs will have a vacancy to fill from the open market. And then finally, the Winnipeg Jets have a dual opening as well, potentially. The Jets and their relocated franchise from Rapid City to the Manitoba Moose. The Jets have a 40.8% chance of re-signing their head coach, Daryl Sutter. How could I forget? I mentioned him earlier. Daryl Sutter may be hitting the open market. Let's find out. Will 1 through 408 come up? 341. 341. Well, Daryl Sutter, he's a true north kind of guy. And, well, you probably should re-sign him, to be perfectly honest. So Daryl Sutter has the opportunity. It will probably get a pretty good payday here. He'll be bumped up probably about $250,000. I think $225,000 actually at least. Okay, so an addendum to the coaching free agency video. You would think that as the commissioner of the Elite Hockey Experience that I would know my own league CBA that I wrote myself. AHL coaches cannot be re-signed, so you will have noticed a lot of clips cut from the video. That was the drawing. Those were all the drawings for the AHL coach chance of re-signing with their team. It's free game on the AHL side, so only the NHL level coaches can be re-signed. Anyone that has an AHL vacancy will have an AHL vacancy and will need to fill that role. Now keep in mind as well, because we're in the off season, you can make an offer for another team's AHL coach. If you want them, don't go after Jeff Blashill. If you want them to become your new NHL coach, you can make an offer for them. However, the team that currently owns his rights in the AHL must agree to the terms. Now, like I just said, don't go after Jeff Blashill. I'm going to probably say no unless you give me a ridiculously high amount of money for him. Because he just won me a Calder Cup, and I'm looking forward to winning another one. So, just keep in mind that because we're in the off season, you can attempt to lure another coach away from an AHL team, only if you plan on using him for your NHL team. And for more on that, please check out the League CBA, like I did, only after I filmed the first 15 minutes of this video. So anyway, as far as the re-signing of your players and signing of your prospects and all that jazz, that will be coming up at the beginning of the week. Probably, it might be Sunday, actually. We might begin that on Sunday, even though coaches probably is going to take, I'm guessing, 4 or 5 days. But I'd like to get the franchise picks, the franchise players, and the prospect signing out of the way so that we can kick into RFA by the end of the week, and hey, maybe even UFA by next weekend. So stay tuned, be active, email me at freeagency at elitehockeysim.com with your bids, and look forward to another video coming out Sunday, potentially, because there will be completely different instructions for how to sign your player. So thanks for watching, guys, and good night.